podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And tonight, unfortunately, we are missing Roberto.
Some say unfortunately, some say fortunately.
But subbing in for him is my wife, the beautiful Jenna Ray.
Jenna Ray, HR.
Yeah, that's usually what she's in the text thread because I get drunk and stammer.
Well, and also it's my initials and I work in HR, so that just really works for everybody.
Yeah, so tonight, in our first video episode ever.
Yeah, thanks for including me in that.
We're going to be trying Dan's Infinity bottle.
Yeah. This has been a little over a year in the making, I believe.
Yeah, about.
When I put down the list today, there was just shy of 20 bottles, so it's not quite an ounce. It's just a little bit more an ounce for everything. Or some probably have a little closer to 2 ounces and some less than an ounce. I don't know.
Yeah.
The first couple pours were just kind of whatever
We're
went in.
imagining they're
Yeah.
all equal.
Yeah. The one thing we talked about that I was upset that I wasn't able to do was me and my spreadsheets. I wanted to make a massive spreadsheet and put every single mash bill from top to bottom on a spreadsheet so I could know exactly how much % corn was in here, how much wheat, how much rye, how much malted barley.
Could take care of that in the post.
Well, the problem is not all of them disclose their mash bill, so I started doing it, and then there's just like so many that I was like, we're not even gonna know, and then it's just.
Oh, so it was actually a decent percent you couldn't find anything on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't worth it, but
I do trace.
Yeah, I got them all listed, so we can talk about that. But yeah, it's. I'm glad we're gonna crack into it. I'm glad we're gonna drink it down a little bit. I'm getting close to some other bottles that need to get dumped into it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out if whiskey blenders actually know what they're doing, or you can just dump a whole bunch of whiskeys together and make something good. Looking at you, Bardstown.
All right, so do we want to talk about our eventful weekends?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, as everyone can see, I've got a mini barrel sitting in front of us.
I thought that was going to be about half its size when you told me you were bringing home a mini barrel. I was picturing like a barrel cut in half.
No, it's what, like a 25-gallon barrel?
Yeah, and we were. So you're probably gonna hate me for this, Jenna Ray. I'm not sure if Jake told you this part. We left the distillery.
Yeah.
We got in my car, and I started it, and we were getting ready to leave, and Jake goes, "Man, I'll have to bring my truck down here so I can get one of those barrels." And I go, "That will fit in my car." And he goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah. Remember when we put the full-size 53-gallon barrel in my car?" "Oh, yeah." And then he just gets out of the car and walks back into the distillery.
You know,
Well, there was a guy
least
who
he
was buying one ahead of us.
Yeah.
And Nick, who's the like marketing manager for
one of the
Whiskey
owners.
Acres and one of the part owners,
Yeah.
was talking to us about it, and he said that they had 2 of the glass gem barrels left, which the glass gem was the special release that we went to go get bottles for. So in my head, I was like, "Oh, that would be cool to have in the office." You know, it's about as local as a distillery can get, even though it's like an hour and a half away. And it's like a special release barrel, so I was like, yeah, it'd be pretty cool. And I was like, but you know, not gonna be able to get it home. And Dan was like, we moved a whole barrel in my Alfa Romeo. And I was like, oh yeah.
I'm sure that's what it was designed for.
Yeah, it's had a lot of things that it's not designed for in that car before.
Yeah. So it all worked out.
One being me.
A little too fancy for you.
Yeah, that's way more classy than I am.
So yeah, this is our new centerpiece. So
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good purchase. So.
yeah, and we had a couple good cocktails there.
Mm-hmm.
Nick gave us a maple finish old fashioned, which was fantastic.
Yep.
And then we both had some version of like their homemade lemonade with whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine was a rye.
Yeah.
And lemonade, and yours was the bourbon and lemonade with blueberry.
With blueberry.
That sounds delicious.
We went on the tour. The tour was pretty good.
Yeah.
They showed us their original barrel warehouse, which is just like one of those half dome,
Mm-hmm.
like sheet metal barn things.
Called a Kwanzaa.
Okay. Then they turned one of their grain silos into their second rick house. Then they just finished building a third rick house.
It's actually called a grain bin, not a grain silo.
Whatever.
So are these? Is it like a farm that they turned into a?
Yeah.
Presumably 'cause
Well,
they
so
have.
it's a fully operational farm.
Oh.
They use, I think he said about 25% of
No, 8% of their farm is for the whiskey, and it's a
Okay.
2,000 acre farm.
Oh wow.
So if you're good at math, it's just shy of 20 acres, I believe, right? Or 10. Wow.
I don't know.
I'm not good at math. No, 20 would be right.
I don't know.
10% of 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
correcting you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
So yeah, like
200.
What's neat about it is that they get to experiment with a bunch of their own crops. So this particular release was the glass gem corn. So it gives a very distinctive taste to the bourbon, which is pretty phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said they are trying, was it Oaxacan green corn again? And then,
Yeah, the Mexico corn.
what was the other one? Bloody Butcher or something?
Yeah, it was like a
Just
red, it was a red corn, and then the blue popcorn.
Yeah, and the blue popcorn, which the blue, I'm like really upset that I didn't grab a blue popcorn when I saw them like earlier or late last year, I think was when they released. Because I thought it was just like a regular thing. I should have grabbed one. But anyway, I mean, yeah, it's a cool distillery. If you can get out to DeKalb, check it out. It's called Whiskey Acres again.
We've put a few posts about them out on Instagram. You can find them at Whiskey Acres.
Yeah.
And you can check out.
They've got
Jake's
live
Barrel
music
and
on the
things.
weekends.
Food trucks.
Food trucks. So yeah, and their like welcome center or visitor center is like super nice.
Yeah, they just finished a nice big outdoor patio area and
Yeah.
everything.
Very
It's
cool.
great, especially in the summer. Like that's gonna be a really
Yeah.
cool place to hang out.
And the biggest thing with Whiskey Acres is one of the guy that helped them start doing their whiskey was Dave Pickerel, who was former. We talked about him a few times. Former master distiller at Makers, Whistle Pig, helped the Blackened company with the Metallica whiskey.
Yep.
Before he passed away, he helped them out. So really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great lineage there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it shows like their whiskey's pretty dang good.
And we are going to get to go down there and help bottle one day.
Yeah, Dan's gonna force us to go volunteer bottling.
That sounds
You
exciting.
get a
Okay.
T-shirt and a bottle of whiskey that you bottled that day.
That's super fun. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go when they bottle a special release.
Yeah. Try to sneak it in. Well, Jenna Ray, you mentioned you've shot him out on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
For those that people don't know, I think we mentioned a few times, you do all of our social stuff
I do.
for us.
Thank God.
Yeah, so if you message us, unless I assign Jake to answer you, you're usually talking to a woman, and I'm trying to answer like a man, so give me some credit for that.
We might have some female listeners, probably not, but possibly.
Generally, the people that write to us are males, and so then I try to send back like a flame or a cheers glass.
Yeah, because
Or-
guys,
More appropriate.
that's- yeah.
I don't want to be like, love it.
I'm so glad that was captured on video.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that we're recording. Damn it.
No, but you've done a great job with that. Your salary's a little tough to swallow some days.
Yeah.
I get to try any of the whiskeys that I want.
That's fair. That's why Jake buys them all.
Yeah,
just
that's
for you.
fine. Yeah, just for me.
Keeping the social media manager happy.
Yeah. It's a hard job.
What do you think's been the most difficult thing or the most interesting thing you've learned so far from doing this? Because I mean, we've all do social media of some sort, but this is
Yeah.
obviously a little bit different.
Good question. I think I was most surprised by how active the Instagram, like bourbon and whiskey community is. They're a really fun community to be a part of. The people are incredibly supportive and like very fun to interact with, and it's fun to follow everybody and see what they're up to. We've gotten some cool ideas of bottles and things to get from them. I think growing your like viewer base is harder, but than I was maybe anticipating. But I also think back to like when I grew my own personal Facebook and Instagram, you were like in high school and college, and like literally every person you met wanted to follow you for whatever purpose. That's not necessarily how it is when
Yeah.
you're a business, so that's been interesting. But that and making reels where, you know, the talent is highlighted, it's also always difficult.
Yeah, we're using business really loosely.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what I mean. It's not.
Don't need
it's
the IRS coming after us. Yeah.
Sorry, but you know what I mean.
Tax that $5 we got in the account right now.
Oh,
I know.
right.
Because 30% of that's gone. Now we're down to $3.
Gotta figure out how to make a tax shelter for our anchor ads.
Yeah. Gotta work.
No, I mean, but it's been cool because I mean, probably about the first couple of months, we were working really hard and it was a slog to get to 100, but we're over 300 and wheeling towards 4 right now.
Yeah, and we're at the point where, like, I mean, I don't know how many listeners of ours are in this space, but where we're just, like, getting followers more organically, so we're not having to, like, go out and talk to people as much. They're just finding us on their own, so that's nice to see.
Yeah.
Before, we had to do a lot of networking to get views and to get people to pay attention to us, so it's nice to see that kind of rolling in.
Yeah, and you've done a great job with the tags and everything, and some of the companies have reached back out to us and talked to us about some things.
Yeah.
Obviously, the collaboration we've done and should be coming. It's probably out already. Our collaboration where we're on the Fourth Dram and Goal
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's a video, so that's technically our first video, but we were zoomed in on that.
That's true.
But no, those relationships have helped, and you've done a great job. It's been fun to see it grow, and you're doing a good job. I don't think we probably ever tell you that, but which we said we were never going to do that. So
Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna get paid and probably wasn't gonna get like a performance review. So good. As long as you don't tell me I suck, we're good.
I do, but not because of that. I'm sorry. It's usually Roberto sitting there, and I just have to be mean to the person sitting.
She's not going to be ready for the part where we just start throwing like tomatoes and lettuce at her.
As long as I can throw them back, we'll be fine.
So, do you want to tell us or tell everybody about our latest scheme that you devised over the weekend?
Yeah, Father's Day weekend, I went back close to where I grew up, and met my dad for Father's Day at a distillery outside of Rockford called Barnstormers, which is, this might be backwards on the camera, I don't know, but I'm wearing a shirt that says Barnstormers. I don't know how mirror image things.
It looks, Jake's repeal shirt looks right, so I think you're
all right, maybe it's worth it, maybe not. Barnstormers, it's a distillery outside of Rockford. They're cool. It's a retired couple that's moved in the area, and they decided that their retirement gig they wanted to do a distillery. And
Not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
taking notes.
worse things you can do easily.
I'll retire tomorrow.
I mean, I kind of am right now. I asked Roberto if I could borrow his blue tent to go live under Milwaukee. No, they were. Me and my dad were there. There wasn't a lot of people there early in the day. Not too long after, there was just a massive line to get stuff, and I got a flight of 6. They do rum, vodka, and whiskey. I did a flight of 6 test samples, and I did their moonshine, their aged moonshine, and then 4 of their whiskeys.
Nice.
So I kind of went through the gambit of clear to dark. It was cool. We were talking to the guy that owns it, the distiller, and having some good conversations. And I can't remember now honestly how it came up, and maybe it's because I drank some moonshine.
That's how it always starts.
But I have no idea how it came up. But all of a sudden he's like, well, yeah, if you wanted to, you can do a 5-gallon run of whiskey. I'll let you guys can pick the mash bill. I'll distill it. If you guys are around, you can come down here and help me with the distillation. I'll change it so we distill and bottle the same day. Yeah, you can laser engrave the top of the barrel. I'll do it, whatever you want on there. It'll be a 5-gallon run. Every 6 months you can come down, take a draw out of the barrel. It takes about 18 to 24 months to age in a 5-gallon. He said you don't want it in over any more than 24 months to age it at that size. And I asked the price, and it was one of those where as soon as he told me the price, I'm like, well, Jake and Roberto, guess what we're doing? So I think we're getting really close. We've been talking for a few days. We'll have our mash bill figured out, so I got to reach out to him and make sure that he agrees that that's something that'll work and hopefully draw a good whiskey out. If we do the 5-gallon run, we're probably going to get around 15 bottles, it sounded like, which would be 5 for each of us, which isn't bad. If you're listening and you want to try some, $40 a bottle, we'll get a 10-gallon run done. But no, so, we've done some of these, you see all these barrel picks from these big liquor stores, which is, they go down to a distillery, they pick what barrel they want out of this massive distillery for $10,000 or $12,000, and we're just going to have ours contract distilled specifically for us, so screw you, Vinnies, we're better.
And we even get to distill it.
Yeah, we get to help, we get to bottle. So yeah, we'll be in touch with him. I'm going to reach back out, but we've been spending some time the last little bit just nailing down what we think we want to do. He's given me some input already on it. But yeah, we will have our first ever Bourbon Matters blend of whiskey.
Yeah.
Not a blend. It's not a blend.
It's not, no. It'll be straight bourbon
Yeah,
whiskey.
straight bourbon whiskey. It could be, we could
18
do
to
it
24 months.
18 to 24 months. We could do it barrel proof. If it sucks, we'll probably want to cut it down to about 100 or something, because we could just be awful at our jobs, which is highly outcome. But yeah, no, we're excited. Like I said, it's just a small distillery. If you're out by Rockford, check them out. They have some really good stuff. My dad likes some of their rums. They have some unique vodkas.
Do they age the rum at all?
Yeah, they
Nice.
age the rum there. One of their whiskeys is finished in one of their rum barrels.
Cool.
Um,
Love me some rum finished whiskey.
They didn't do gin. They did vodkas, and my dad, one of them, and it was funny because I'd never heard of it before. And we were at Sam's, and someone asked if they had horseradish vodka there.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
I thought that was disgusting, but then I'm like, well, you know what? If you like bloodies,
Yeah, that's a good point.
that'd
yeah.
probably be a good addition for a Bloody Mary, be horseradish
Makes
vodka.
sense.
Yeah.
And my dad likes horseradish stuff, so he got some of their horseradish vodka, and he didn't think he was gonna have much. He's like, no, it's got a lot of spice to it.
Wow.
He did that. He did one of their black licorice
What kind of
vodkas.
what kind of vodka was it?
Corn.
Oh, corn. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
But yeah, no, they were fun. It was cool to hang out with them. But the fact that we're gonna end up, we also get to keep the barrel too.
Oh,
Obviously,
really?
they're gonna laser engrave the top for us. We're gonna get to keep.
So
that.
it's a 5-gallon barrel?
They'll do a 5, 10, or 15-gallon barrel for it.
Okay.
I'm
How
guessing.
small is a 5 gram? Like,
It's
Well, that's 25.
yeah, so
yeah,
it'd be
it's
like,
a
it'll be so
a fifth
cute.
of that. It's not very big.
Be a footstool. Yeah, no.
It's 15 bottles.
Yeah.
Most of the cost of the project is probably the barrel.
Probably. Because when we were at Whiskey Acres, they said these half barrels cost just as much as a 53-gallon barrel.
Yeah. Well, he said that these are more expensive than the full size.
Wait, how come?
Demand.
Ah, okay.
Demand and like these big cooperages, like this is from Calvin Cooperage, which is one of the biggest cooperages. They're set up to do big barrels, and they
Okay.
can pump out a lot of big barrels quickly, and then they got to change all their stuff to.
Have you guys explained what a cooperage is in the podcast?
They make barrels. We just did. Thank you. We talked about it a little bit when we did Rabbit Hole, because Rabbit Hole
Yeah,
uses the
well,
same
yeah.
cooperage as.
Because there's like only a couple big ones, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, this has got a nice Calvin Cooperage blend in it, or
Yeah.
brand in it. But yeah, no, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. See the process play out, and then have our names on something. But
Yeah, it'll be fun.
yeah, if you're interested in seeing what it's like, let us know, because we'll probably be over the next few weeks trying to get it all figured out. And if we get people that want some whiskey out of it, we'll be more than happy to go a bigger barrel if need be.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So let's get into the infinity bottle.
Yeah. Well, so normally I have to do the research. My research is just reading off basically what's in there. Jake, we talked about it in one of our earlier episodes, but if you're just kind of catching on the tail end of stuff here, what is an infinity bottle and what's kind of the purpose of it?
Yeah, so an infinity bottle is basically you take the last dram of a bottle of whiskey and you pour it into a decanter or some other kind of bottle, and you keep building up with last drams of bottles to make a like super whiskey, or at least that's the goal. So like typically you want to take like your favorites and kind of build the bottle out of your favorite whiskeys. It's like the reason that they call it an infinity bottle is because when you get down to the last dram of your infinity bottle, you keep it, you don't pour it, then you restart the filling process. So perpetually you'll have more and more complex mash bill based on what you put into the infinity bottle.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, since I started getting into whiskey heavily and starting to go through bottles a little over a year ago is when I started this. We've just recently started a show infinity bottle with some of the ones we've recently been drinking.
Yeah.
And part of my infinity bottle will be then donated to the show bottled as well.
Yep.
The show bottle has Blue Run, the High Rye Bourbon, a Red Breast 15, and a Michter's Bourbon.
Yes.
Fancy. We haven't done Red
Yeah.
Breast. No, we did.
We did
Yeah, we
Red
did.
Breast
Yeah, that was
on
back
our
up.
Irish St. Patrick's Day episode.
Yeah.
Which I need to fill that with everything we've done so far.
Yeah.
Which I haven't gotten to yet, but
You said your
That's gonna fill it
favorite.
up quite a bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is what episode
This will be the
20
25th
episode.
25th official, 26 if
But
you
we've
count.
had multiple episodes with multiple bottles. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also
Maybe
had
we picked the best one from the episode.
what St. Patty's Day and the Smooth Ambler, quick Smooth Ambler one we did
Yeah.
count as full episodes,
Right.
so they're not officially numbered.
Yeah.
I learned that when I was putting the website together, and I realized our numbers weren't matching up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oops.
It's well, yeah. Jake said it's usually your favorite whiskeys. I mean, I haven't been buying bad whiskey, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not always my favorite, but these are the bottles I finished. And again, it's been about 20 bottles are in here.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of bottles I've gone through, and I just don't drink. I drink one pour every night. It's not like I'm drinking crazy amounts that I have 40 or 50 bottles that are just waiting lined up to get thrown in this. This is, I'm like, it's going to be a long time to fill this up,
Yeah.
and it
You
has.
said it took, what, a year to
A
do
little
this
over a
one?
year,
A
yep.
little
And
over
I
a
just
year,
finished it off the other day. The last one that you're going to get a chuckle out of. The very first one that ever went in was actually a bottle of Gentleman Jack.
Nice. Solid foundation.
So yeah, we put in a solid foundation. The first nice bottle of whiskey I bought probably about 3 years ago, and it sucked because I didn't like it that much. It was a private selection of Four Roses that it was a Benny's pick.
Okay.
So that's in there. There's Elijah Craig 94, but it was an Ohio State barrel pick that I ended up with somehow. And there's a dram of the popular Blanton single barrel.
Here we go.
There's one, I've seen it more and more. I bought it, I don't know why. It was a nice looking bottle. It's, I'm pretty sure they're a blender called Doc Swinson's.
Yeah.
And it's their Alter Ego, which is finished in sherry cask.
Nice.
Then one of my favorites, Jefferson Twin Oak. And then one of the first ones we all kind of bought together, between me, you, and Roberto, where we all walked into a liquor store and walked out with a bottle of Basil Hayden 10-year.
Yep. That's a good one.
After that was Bardstown Fusion Series number 4. And then after that, there's a bottle I bought. It was a cool bottle. I think it was an Oregon whiskey. It was their first batch. The bottle was cool. It wasn't expensive. It was called Trails End Batch 1.
Okay.
And it was in Oregon Oak, too. I think it was an Oregon Oak aged barrel.
Oh, interesting.
After that was Little Book, Chapter 5, The Invitation.
Oh, that's a high proof.
That's a high proof, and that has ties back to your wedding because I brought that to your wedding.
Oh, that was the one? Nice.
That's the one where you're drinking upstairs.
That I thought you gave to me as a gift, but you did not.
Yes. I definitely did not give to you as a gift. So I think the story on that was, like, we
You
were
left it in the room.
Well, yeah.
That's what
I think it was we were all in your guys' room drinking after the wedding, and I maybe had 2 or 3 whiskeys that night.
2 or 3, okay, sure.
And I think we were leaving your room, and Jake's like, "You didn't get me anything," and I think I just handed you the bottle on the way out because I had no idea what was going on.
That's alright.
That was like, he did not mean to do that.
Amazing.
That was a fun night, I think. After that is the first ever really nice bottle I bought, which is an Angel's Envy Port Barrel cask strength.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of the Angel's Envy special releases, and I actually use that comes in a really nice box. I actually use that box to house my corks for all the bottles that I finish,
Oh, that's cool.
as well as that's where I keep my list for my Infinity blend.
Nice.
And then the goal is I have all the corks in there, and it's got a nice glass window in it, so eventually I'm getting closer to the top, so you have like this cool cork-looking thing inside.
Very
We all know that comes from the ocean. If you listen to our earlier episodes. After that, another one that has some sentimental value is American Highway Batch 1, which is the first ever podcast we did.
Nice.
After that, another one that was featured on the podcast in my top 5 findable, James Pepper 1776.
Nice.
A little bit of TX whiskey. My George Dickel 13 after I finished that off. And some Barrel Bourbon Batch 22. Weller Special Reserve, Bardstown Discovery Series number 6, and the last one that made it in the bottle, St. Cloud 7-year.
Yeah. Last
You'll
place
love
in
to
the
see
March
it.
Pyramid.
No, that wasn't last place.
I think Yellowstone was last place.
No, the one that was last place was the one we bashed because we thought it was St. Cloud and ended up being Elijah Craig.
Oh yeah, it was just normal Elijah Craig.
I remember because we got that, and I obviously right away looked. I was the one that looked at the bracket. I'm like, oh well, Jake had the winners right. I had one right. 2 really good winners. Where's the one we bashed? That's got to be St. Oh, that's Elijah Craig.
Yeah, St. Cloud, you actually didn't mind the first go round.
No, it was funny because we thought we called it the hood ornament because it's got a neat top. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's everything that's in this bottle. Normally we drink a little bit beforehand, but I think we've been waiting to kind of.
Yeah, I wanted to hear everything that was in it
Yeah.
before I tried it.
It's
The color's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's darker than like your typical bourbon.
Yeah. It's almost got like
but
a little
I mean,
bit of a
you threw
reddish
like a twin oak
undertone.
in there.
Yeah.
And, some older.
the
whiskeys.
Bardstown's Discovery is older.
Yeah.
Man, it has a unique nose on it. Like it's not a bad nose. It's just you can tell that there's a lot of things in there.
Yeah.
There's some spice to it. If you breathe into it like I did, it makes your eyes water. So maybe don't do that.
I don't. I'm not getting too heavy of an alcohol ethanol on there.
It's not that it doesn't smell that high proof. I'm having trouble picking out like an actual.
I know, and I think that's just because there's so much just mishmash in there. All right, well,
Like I'm not even getting like vanilla or like
Mm-mm.
the typical kind of smells.
Yeah, I'm just getting like spice.
well, I'm gonna take it.
I'm getting a little bit of like citrus, but
Heat comes out. You taste the very end of the finish is when you feel the alcohol kick in.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that bad though.
It doesn't have that tough of a finish for everything that's in it. I thought it might be a little.
Oh, I just got a big hit of like Coca-Cola on the back end.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge on my first sip, but
Yeah. I mean, a Coca-Cola end is not bad.
it's very. The front of it is very smooth.
Yeah.
Like on the tip of the tongue, there's not. Like I just don't get. It's hard to delineate any flavors out of this. I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm still getting that Coca-Cola flavor. I mean, there's like a little bit of like vanilla that's coming through.
I'd say the vanilla's probably the most that I get out of this.
Yeah.
Maybe like some caramel or, maybe like I don't really.
I don't get much oak out of this, which
No.
is weird because
No.
all these are actually fairly aged bourbons, and them are really young. I mean, I will say I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good. Like you just don't. There's so much going on. They just all kind of neutralize each other out into.
Yeah, I'm getting like orange peel. On
Yeah,
the
there's
front.
a little bit of a citrus situation.
I think the Coca-Cola you're getting in the back is some acidity to it at the end.
Could be. Yeah.
It could be like the vanilla note that you're getting with the acidity making it kind of a.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not bad.
No.
But like it's hard to like explain.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's a lot happening.
It's complex.
It's complex, but it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah. I would
Your
say,
taste buds don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
like I'll go back to like when we did Jack Bonded not too long ago. Like that tastes like you would think this is a bourbon should taste like. It had all the bourbon notes, all the bourbon flavors to it.
Mm-hmm.
This there's just so much going on. Like you don't get those normal flavors. It's not undrinkable. I've had whiskeys on here that I haven't been able to finish. I could finish this. But yeah, it's just it's not what you would think a bourbon would taste like.
No, yeah, it's very yeah, if somebody had like poured me this at a bar and I took a sip of it, I'd be like, this is
Interesting.
very strange. not normal.
I don't know that I this is not my like fourth sip, but it's starting to like develop a little bit of something, and there is just more of, it's just spice, but like a lot of spice.
I'm getting
going back to it though, so
Yeah.
I'm getting,
I'm not mad about it.
All right, this would be the best way I can describe it. Sea salt and vinegar chips. It has the weirdest taste in the world, but you can't stop eating them.
That I can, yeah.
I am getting now, after about the fourth sip, right about here, I'm getting marshmallow. Like almost a little
Oh, in my
marshmallow.
throat? I never pay attention.
Like right by the lymph nodes. And I think it's maybe just part of the vanilla coming through on it.
Yeah.
yeah, there's like
It almost kind of like the CYPB. That butterscotch
a
marshmallow.
little bit.
I don't think butterscotch.
There is like a weird like it's kind of like brown sugar taste.
Yeah.
But it's like
Burnt marshmallow.
yeah, I think that's
Caramelized, like, not before it crisps up and goes all brown, like the perfect
like
s'more.
perfect
Yeah.
golden brown marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's probably where I'm going to stick with it. I think the biggest thing I'm realizing is that people that blend whiskeys that taste good actually do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're also though blending finished products together. I think that's a little bit different, I think.
No, that's what they.
I mean, that's what
They'll just take a bunch of different barrels, blend them together, and put them out. I don't think they take 20-some barrels. It's usually three or four barrels at max. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not good. It's kind of weird.
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah.
I would have not have guessed that's what it would have tasted like, though.
What
No,
would you have
I-
thought it would have tasted like?
I thought I would have got a lot more oak and a lot more some pronounced flavors, but I think it's just there's so much in there that it just kind of all washes out, and
Yeah.
it takes a little bit to really start getting some of that flavor into it, just because your mouth is trying to discern a million different flavors all at once.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's almost like there's so much happening that it just becomes one note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It.
But like, there are like little nuances though,
Right.
that like seem to be happening.
Mhm.
Like, especially like, it's almost changing every time I take a sip, which is like a very strange experience.
Yeah.
Did you shake it before you poured it?
It was on the car all the way over here, bouncing around. It's kind of, you know what? It's like the everlasting gobstoppers of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah.
I mean, it's an infinity bottle, so it's fitting.
Yeah. It's everlasting infinity. Speaking of infinity, the Lightyear movie's coming out here pretty soon.
Oh, nope.
Oh yeah, not this weekend.
I think so, and I was mad because I was gonna finally go see Maverick, and I was gonna go to Gurney and watch it in the 4D seats, and they're showing Lightyear now in the 4D theater, and not
Oh, my
Maverick.
God, that's
Yeah, we should have gone
a
the week that it
travesty.
opened. Are they showing it still in Vernon Hills?
Yeah, they're still showing Maverick, but I think it's just, I'm guessing they're probably still doing it at Adobe and Vernon Hills, but I'm gonna do the
They do
4D
have the
seats.
big, it's not the, like they have a big theater.
Yeah.
in Vernon
Yeah, the
Hills.
Dolby
Is that
one.
what-
That's the
okay.
Dolby, yeah. But no, I want to do the ones with the seats that have the air
Yeah.
and stuff, so it feels like you're flying. And
That would be cool.
thanks, Gurney.
Well, we did wait like a month to go see it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's kind of on us.
Sorry, Tom Cruise. I know you're a big fan of the show.
We need Roberto to say, "Help me, Tom Cruise. Help me, Oprah." Roberto, where are you at? Stop playing around in DC. Nothing good happens there. Yeah. All right. Well, so that was interesting. If anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just, it's a different, it's different.
It was fun.
I mean,
It was fun.
the
Yeah.
whole thing for this Infinity Bottle is fun. Just to say that all your whiskeys you ever drank are in one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will I drink this? Yeah, I'll keep drinking it so I can keep putting more stuff in it.
Will you drink it down before you put anything else
Oh
in?
yeah. I'll drink it down to probably about 10%.
Okay.
I'll leave a little more. I think you're supposed to leave like 10 or 25. I'll read and see what people.
And like when people come over that you don't really like, you can be like, "Oh, hey, here, try this."
Yeah, that's fair.
Or people that are like newer to whiskey and don't know any better, they're like, wow.
Usually when I want to do that, I just give them my ride though.
I mean,
Or some of that like berry wine. You've been waiting to use that button the whole time, haven't you?
I
What was the other one that you really wanted to use?
was waiting for you to say something so I could go.
Thanks.
I mean, but the saving grace of this though is that it is really smooth.
Yeah, it's smooth, and it's one of those things where you keep on trying. Like, it's like you want to try and figure out what it's tasting like,
Yeah.
but every time it's like, I'm not going to be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
It does burn, I feel
It's,
like, a little bit more, and it's probably all the different
Mystery
peppers.
wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a riddle.
All right, well, so the first video episode, we use an infinity bottle. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's what I think I would expect from an infinity bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, like, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, it's either, we wanted to either be, like, really great or, like, just unbelievably shitty. So,
Yeah, and it fell in the middle, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
It's, I thought, because we talked about it too before, or a couple days ago we were talking about it, and I said, you're like, well, it can't be bad. I'm like, have you ever gone to the pop machine and mixed every single type of pop together? And then
Yes, I was thinking
like, this could very well be very bad.
Or like when you go to those like giant Coke machines and somebody just poured like some sort of raspberry, lemon, whatever shit, and then you go to do like Diet Coke and you're like, cool, thank you for whatever just came out of
Yeah,
it.
just all the syrup that falls in. But no, it was something interesting to break the video in with. Hopefully the video works.
Yeah.
If not, when we talk about all this video and you're just going to hit us on the podcast, just
Yeah.
ignore it.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as video. We never plan to do video unless it works, and we're glad we did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jura stood it in for Roberto PDL.
Yeah.
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 So, Jenna, do you want to do Roberto's job and talk about the socials?
Oh, I can do that, yes. So if you are listening to the podcast and you somehow found it, not through social media, go find us on Instagram at Bourbon Matters and at Facebook at Bourbon Matters Podcast. Like, listen, subscribe to all the things. And if there's anything that you would like to see us feature, or if there's a chance you want to buy into our Barnstormers barrel, let us know. Hit us up on instant messages.
Nice
or direct
promo.
messages.
Nice
We're
promo.
working that plug for cash.
Before you talk about the
But
podcast,
we're
I
not
just want to take a quick shout out again for the Fourth Dram guys.
Yes.
They by now or shortly after now, if you're listening to this right after this came out, you should be able to head over to them and catch us on their podcast or on their YouTube for the video feed.
Yep.
That was fun. We had a good time with them again. I know we're going to talk about some things in the future, possibly when we do our Texas series. We might have the Texas boys come in for that.
Yeah.
So they can just try and act like they know about Texas whiskey, and we can just shame them and teach them a lesson.
Maybe we should also learn a little bit about Texas sports in advance of that.
That's what we got Roberto for. He knows so
Really?
much about all the sport ball. They are good.
I didn't know that was a button. That's awesome.
We have all these buttons over here. We hardly ever use them.
I know you need to be. When you said that you overused the nookie one, I don't believe that.
No, we
I've
don't.
only heard it a few times.
No. We usually do it before we start
That's
recording.
true. That's usually how we get Roberto go. But in honor of Mr. Roberto,
There you
Yeah.
go.
R.I.P.
he's not dead.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he's not dead. He's just in
He's
DC.
just in Washington.
Yeah. I mean, his soul is dead, but not in physically.
All right.
Or maybe he is. I haven't talked to him in a while.
He did post his ever-present airplane photo and
Oh.
a photo of a few monuments. So I think he's still and
Yeah, if
sent
you
me-
like pictures out of airplane windows,
Follow
give
Roberto.
PDL a follow.
Yes.
And if you really want to try and stump him, take a picture out of an airplane window, and he might be able to tell you the airplane that you took it out of, just by
Or
just
what
by the
city
glass.
it
Yes.
He may know.
All right, so you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and now YouTube. So if you typically listen on one of the podcast platforms, give the video episode a try. You should be able to pull it up on your TV or something. Yeah, so if people like this, then we'll keep doing it. If not, then it's not worth my time. So.
And give us some feedback on the video. Like, should
Yeah.
we look at you and not just each other?
And if you all agree that we should use a full-size barrel so you can only see like the top half of my eyes to make the video look better, please drop that comment.
Yeah, or like put it in front of me. Like the skinniest one got the barrel in front of him. That's some BS.
That's the tallest midget, and that's statement right there. Me being the skinny one is not what people are striving to be. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. We'll be back next week with an actual bottle you can probably buy.
Yeah, so next week is going to be Resilient Bottled in Bond for our 4th of July episode.
Oh, that's right.
We'll also be trying the Resilient 16-year. So, yeah, and we'll talk America, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
That's the most exciting you've ever been for an
America's
episode
great.
preview.
Well, this is fun. I'm going to go get Roberto's tent and head to the underpass of Milwaukee and find a new home for a while.
All right, everyone.
All right. Oh, hold on. Roberto's not here, so someone got to do the cheers.
Yeah.
Honey. Cheers.
Cheers.